Welcome to the
Welcome
Dumbfounded
back.
Dipshits podcast. Welcome back. It's 2 years.
Yeah.
We're back. No.
Yes. Welcome back, dipshits. So we're celebrating 2 years of the COVID pandemic, or a retrospective of the COVID pandemic.
How
Yeah.
how can it be a retrospect if it's still happening?
It's over for some of us. Some of us, it's been over for a long fucking time.
I mean, for some of us, it never really began.
Some people didn't begin. Some people are still living it. Some people will never let go.
No,
You know
they'll
what I
never
mean?
let go. Never
Yeah.
let go.
What I'd like to talk about is a lot of the good shit, because a lot of people, when they bring this shit up, because it's been beaten to death. Now, we can talk about statistics, deaths, this, that, the other, how it fucked up the economy, how it fucked up this, how it fucked up mental health.
How it
Well,
caused
there
the
was some
war
good.
in Ukraine?
Well, I think that was something that was going to happen. Now, if you want to get into that, we can get into that. Just in short, I think it was going to happen inevitably anyway, but it may have postponed the war in the Ukraine. I think that would have happened probably in early 2021, but it probably got pushed back, obviously, because you see how paranoid Putin is still of COVID. Like, he's got the long table and shit. He doesn't even get close to his ministers. So for him, COVID's
Well,
still
you know
going.
the story behind that, right?
Well, I know people weren't getting the Russian shot. He wasn't getting the Russian shot.
The guy that they sat on the other side of the table
Yeah,
refused the vaccine.
the Russian vaccine. He
Yes.
had the Euro vaccine. He had
I don't know the full story.
He had
I
the
just know.
NATO vaccine. He had the NATO vaccine, and
The
he
NATO
said no to NATO because he was pretty sure you guys are trying to poison me because he's all paranoid now. He's about to turn 70, and nobody's killed him yet, so he thinks his day is upon him. So he's really paranoid too. But there, just to backtrack a little bit, I think we got to highlight the good shit that came out of COVID. There's some good shit that came out of COVID. There's some things to celebrate. I think MMA is the most popular it's ever been, and I think that's due to the COVID pandemic response to sports and stuff. Like, I think that there's
The
a few
world
things.
population's a little lower.
There's a lot of new jobs are opening up. You gotta see it damaged the economy, but it helped the economy. I guess,
There might be
in
a
way.
food shortage, but there's also less people
There's less people
that have to eat food.
Yeah. You gotta look at the bright side sometimes.
We're completely kidding, obviously. It's a joke.
Yeah. This is all. In good fun. We don't mean this seriously or to
He
make
doesn't
light
mean it seriously.
But you gotta think of the bright side of things. There's a lot of ugly people that are still walking around masked up, and it's helping.
It's so great. It's so
yeah,
great.
it's
Like,
helping. The
I
visual.
enjoy wearing a mask because they can't see my face when they're talking to me. It makes me so
Yeah.
happy that you can't see that. I'm just like,
That was also a negative. People can't really tell social cues anymore. So
I don't
people
want them to tell. I don't want them to see mine.
But you notice now there's a flood. Now that there's no masks, and you're starting to see people's expressions, you don't even know yourself how to react. You're like, is this person
That's
smiling
what-
or they're having a stroke? Like, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
That's what they look like. Oh God, I thought.
Yeah. But I remember them having more teeth the last time I saw them.
Boy, you didn't see their teeth. Oh, you mean before 2 years ago?
Before 2 years ago, yeah, a lot of people started smoking crack. A lot of fucked up shit.
What have
man,
you been doing
know?
in the pandemic? Well, staying home, taking care of the kids. What about you? Well, I took up a crack habit.
I figured I was always anti-crack, and I figured the world's maybe gonna be over, or who knows? Might as well just try crack now. And now I have 4 missing teeth. But listen, even still, like, our government's all fucking in shambles and shit. During Trump, after Trump, with Biden, this one, that one, everything still sucks as far as the government goes.
Yeah, well,
it
government
probably
sucks
always
because
will.
it's government. Government sucks.
So nothing
Government
good
has
came out
always
of that. Yeah, nothing good came with that. But a lot of people who really probably shouldn't have been together, got divorced, and that's good for them, because otherwise they would have just stuck in their miserable fucking situations for longer than they should have.
I can
You know what I
honestly
mean?
say my marriage survived COVID.
Yeah,
A lot of
mine
people
did too.
can't say that, right, babe?
Yeah. Okay.
I know.
Oh wait, you can't
personally-
do that now. That went away during COVID.
What?
Can't make that sign anymore. The OK sign.
Yes, you can. This is
I
not.
know.
This does not mean
We
KKK. This is
I
not a
know, I
white.
know. We went over this on an earlier episode from a year ago, I think, or a little over a year ago. We spoke about how this became I guess the Proud Boys or something made it popular, like
But
as a white power
but the
symbol or
Proud
something.
Boys is run by a Puerto Rican dude.
Yeah, didn't they arrest him
Yeah,
like a couple days ago down here? They
he's
got him.
more Puerto Rican than I am. He's Puerto Rican. He's
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of like, like African American dudes who are like members. I think it's like a drinking club, and they're just all just really, really conservative, like gun-toting guys, and that's pretty much what
what
everyone's scared
the
about.
enemy is now apparently.
I guess, yeah. Well, they're just a bunch of cisgendered males, assuming they're cisgendered. Let's not assume, because there could be a couple of like closeted gays that are Proud Boys also. 'Cause they probably got suckered into the group because of the name. It's a pretty gay name, I think.
It really is. It really
It's
is.
sort of gay, like.
Yeah,
It's
not
sort
that
of
there's
gay.
anything wrong with that, but it is
Or,
a little
or I'm thinking maybe Pride Boys is a gay name.
right.
But it sounds a lot like that. So
Yes,
it sounds
that's
like
the
they
thing.
could be
It
gay.
could be.
So
It
maybe
could
a
be.
whole bunch of guys were like, who just like to wear camouflage, but just happen to be, happen to be gay. We're just like, oh, this sounds like a good group to join. Then they showed up and we're like, wow, these guys are sort of good looking. And then they start talking all this MAGA hat stuff, and they're like, wait a minute, I think I'll just stay. And they just stuck around, just fuck it.
The Proud Boys.
Yeah.
You know who
I'm
created
like-
the Proud Boys, right?
I heard it was like a troll, like it was like a troll
Gavin
thing.
McGinnis.
McGinnis? Gavin
what's his name?
McGinnis?
Is that his name?
McGinnis, yeah.
Yeah, the guy who used to own Vice magazine.
Yeah, right. But it was a troll, right? It wasn't like it was like the act. It was a like he was trolling when he. It wasn't supposed to be a serious group, right? Like it wasn't supposed to be.
He is, yes, he's like a professional troll.
Yes,
And
and
he
it was,
wanted-
and the group was a troll too.
He
like,
was doing
originally.
an opposite of Antifa.
Yes.
Like he wanted but it was in a way where Antifa is anti-fascist, but they commit fascist acts while being anti-fascist,
Right,
which doesn't
right.
work. So
Yes.
he wanted to answer that with the Proud Boys, who are proud to be American. Well, let's look it up. Let's see
Yeah.
what the definition is.
Yeah.
We look things
But
up in the show.
I was pretty sure. So, and that, like, I didn't know what a Proud Boy was until COVID. So, COVID, that was, like COVID uncovered a lot of things that I didn't even know what was going on with the world. Like, I had no idea how bad the war in Yemen was until COVID.
There's a war in Yemen?
Well, there's been an ongoing war since Obama, and I knew that I knew that Obama had drone strikes going on in Yemen, going after Al
I think we have
Qaeda.
different definitions of war. You call
No,
it
they have a
war.
civil war there. There's
Hold
a
on, hold
civil
on, hold
war
on.
going on there.
You call it war.
Right.
I call it genocide.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yes, there is acts of genocide being committed there. Yes, totally. I agree with that too. But I'm saying, like, there was a whole world conflict going on. You know what I mean? That I had no idea of and then it was like that. Like, I didn't know what Proud Boys were. Like, a lot of these things, like when you have the time to pay attention for a couple minutes, which could be bad too, because a lot of people got attached to just the internet over COVID and fucked with their mental and stuff like that. And you get a lot of people who are, and the thing is, like, too, like, it's sad to say, like, a lot of the info that you're learning is like, oh man, this is what's going on. All right, Proud Boys. All right, neo-fascist. Okay, so not neo-Nazi. Is there a difference between neo-Nazi and neo-fascist?
But are they neo-fascist? I think this is someone else giving them that title.
It's wiki, dude. Somebody else put that in there. Like, the thing is, like, I don't know. Like, I think fascism is anybody who just wants a dictator to fucking rule over them. Like, and they're okay with it. Like, that's what a fascist would be. In my interpretation.
This is nonsense. Anti-communism. So how can you be neo-fascist and anti-communism?
Yeah, because most communist regimes are fascist, right? Like, there's a level of fascism to Chairman Mao was fucking a fascist leader, right?
They think their ideology is. It doesn't even. Anti-communism, anti-feminism, anti-immigration, anti-LGBT rights. You forgot the Q. Anti-Semitism, authoritarianism, which once again doesn't go with the anti-communism thing.
So there are no Jews. There are no Jews in the Proud Boys.
There's
There's got to be Jews in the Proud Boys.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, like I said, this is some nonsense.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I could totally believe that they may be like anti, immigrant. That because a lot of those guys are like those far right dudes. You
That's
know,
ironic. Look, where'd it go?
so maybe some of it's true.
Look at this.
Oh, that is like a Nazi symbol. That looks straight up Nazi.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, read it.
An assemblage of
Ukrainian. It's from
ultra.
Ukraine. It's from Ukraine.
Oh yeah, they have Nazis
Here's
there,
another
right?
one.
Isn't that
Here's
Putin's
another one.
excuse for going in? Right? Isn't that Putin's excuse for going in? It's like we're trying to rid them
well,
of
hold on.
Nazis
But
because
what
they have
if-
a not
listen.
paramilitary group.
Listen. Conspiracy hour. We only know what we're being spoon fed.
Of
to
course,
us.
of
That's
course.
all we fucking know.
Yeah.
So we don't know why Russia went in. We don't know anything. We only know what we've been told. For all we know, that story could be true. We don't know. We just don't know.
I can't remember what that saying was. Literally, like 4 people just repeated it over like the last week. It's like, what is it? Like the only one. Oh man, something about. Damn. The only something about the thing that you lose in war is the truth. The first thing you lose in war, or something like the first casualty of war is the truth, or something like that.
That sounds about right.
And the thing is, like the Russian populace, aren't they being spoon-fed shit too? This is probably the worst thing to come out of COVID is just like this sort of like,
You're right, by the way. It's the first casualty of war is truth.
Is truth, yeah.
Because both countries are going to do whatever they got to do to get the people's support behind the war, which includes lying. Now, you want to hear a crazy conspiracy?
Shoot. I'm always good for game for one of these motherfuckers.
We knew Pearl Harbor was going to happen. So we let it happen. We actually decided days before the Japanese arrived to move our actual good ships to the other side of the island.
Yeah.
So the ships they actually bombed were our older ships. They were still manned with people. We let those people
personnel
die.
carriers. They weren't warships.
Well, there were some warships, but they were all like our older ones, not the new ones.
They were going to be decommissioned in a couple of years anyway.
Yeah, throwaways. And that's how we used that to get involved deeper into the war.
Yeah,
At that point, we weren't fighting the
involved.
Japanese yet. Well, we were involved, but we were fighting the Nazis, not the Japanese yet.
Yeah, that brought us in full
And now they're talking about Russia possibly used chemical weapons.
Oh, they're doing the WMD excuse now, right? Because they're talking chemical weapons. They may have planted or making.
I don't think they understand that. Most people are stupid, but we didn't forget about that. We didn't forget about the 20 years in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Yeah, that just happened. That's why. It like historically speaking, that just happened.
And
that
what's
just
funny
happened.
is the average person will be like, "Oh, we're out of there now," but we're not really out of there, and they'll forget. They'll forget everything that happened, how it happened, and why it happened.
Well, it was sad how we pulled out, and that was a fucking mess and a half. But good thing they came out of COVID. At least we're out of Afghanistan.
That's not a good thing, I don't think.
I know it's not. I like but
we're out to have to go back in a couple of years.
Not even go back. Go somewhere else, maybe. You know what I mean? It's just going to turn into something else. You know what I mean? And who knows if Russia takes Ukraine, they might get ballsy and then try to take all those stand countries over again. You know what I mean? They might go hunting for stands. They're taking one stand off after the next.
Of course, you're talking about Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan and the other stand.
Turkmenistan, Tajikistan.
Okay, that country, whatever.
Afghanistan.
What was the Turk one you just said? What was it called?
Tajikistan.
Is that what it is?
Tajikistan or Tajikistan?
I don't know, but I didn't know that country existed until I looked on a map and I'm like, what are these fucking countries?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it was like something with when the USSR fell, all those regions were like tribal regions that their own people, even though they all look pretty like they were all former Mongolian nations, like, 'cause that's sort of what they were. Like they all just like split up into their separate corners. But they were all part of the USSR too, and they'll try to take them back. Also, they're all chock full of natural resources. That Borat joke when he's like, "We've got the best potassium in the world."
no,
That's not far from the truth.
That's the truth.
They have mineral
That's
mines
what
in
made Borat
Kazakhstan.
so funny.
Yeah,
it was
because
the
there was
truth.
it was
It's
fake.
a country you've never fucking heard of.
Never heard of, but they got
Never
plenty
heard
of
of.
fucking potassium. And opium too. They got plenty of fucking poppy fields and shit too.
Not more than Afghanistan.
Nah, they had a lot of that shit, man. That's why we were there for as long as we were, man. Pharmaceutical companies were fucking eating that shit up, and there was illegal heroin getting shipped in too. So much illegal dope brought to you by the United States government.
And when I say yummy, I'm being facetious.
Oh, fantastic. So yeah, that's another thing too, man. A lot of new potheads after the pandemic. A lot of people just started fucking smoking weed, man.
Well, now
And
it's
it's even
legal
more-
too. They should have legalized it in the beginning of the pandemic. Everyone calmed down a little bit.
Would have chilled everyone the fuck out. Too
Oh,
many nervous heads, man.
That's what I wanted to bring up. So we did an episode in the beginning of this original show on the Nothing Network
Yeah.
called Riots and something else. I forgot the full title. And we showed videos of the riots, a live video of people walking around in New York City on Madison Avenue as they're smashing windows and doing all that
Yeah,
shit.
the BLM marches and stuff. I
all
remember.
those,
Yeah.
all those videos have been scrubbed from the internet. I can't find them.
Wow.
Like, I'll find them, but the original video was from like an independent account, just some guy with a cell phone camera. They'll show clips of that in news reports, but the original videos are nowhere to be found.
Get out of here. So our videos got taken down. So we got shadow banned because we
No,
had
our
that
video's
footage
up.
on.
Our video's up.
Oh,
I'm
with
saying
that
the
footage.
original footage.
Oh shit.
God.
You can't find it. Oh
Nope.
wow. So the stock footage of that from all the media sources are gone. Damn, they got rid of that shit?
Like, the media has articles up and videos up, but it's only clips, not the
Yeah,
real
it's not the
footage.
full. Yeah, it's
I
not the
remember
full, yeah.
watching 3 hours of a guy bike riding through Manhattan as they were doing all the bad shit they were doing.
Damn, man. I can't believe that was all like, now, like, just saying, like, 2 years ago, like, to be quite honest with you, like, we were joking about it before, but for me, this is mostly fucking done. I know people are still getting it. I actually know someone, close to me who just contracted it. It's still happening. I know it's still a thing.
Luckily,
but-
it's been mutated to the point where it's not as deadly for most people. I won't say for all people, but for most people. So
I mean, that's enough to say for us here in this country, but the rest of the world, everybody's dealing with it different and stuff. I mean, Canada.
yeah, but no one cares about those people.
I was gonna say, like,
I'm kidding.
like a lot
I'm
of them, a lot of them, like, were like fleeing to the United States. Like a lot of, it was funny before COVID. A lot of people were running to Canada for medical. And then right during COVID, a whole bunch of Canadians are trying to jump the border and come down here.
Well, because we're allowing people to have birthday parties here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, they do. They got like their little. Like everybody focuses on the southern border and the south. Like border of like the United States to Mexico, and how like everybody has like a way for coyotes to get like people across the border in trucks, or they got like routes and stuff that people run to get across the river and stuff like that. But Canadians have their little fucking tricks on what roads to go in so they don't get checked by border patrol. They got their tricks too,
There's
dude. They
mountains
sneak
up
into
there,
the
man.
country
There's
also.
mountains, especially on the West Coast. There's mountain ranges right through.
Yeah, I think like I don't know which territory, but I know like British Columbia's got like there's like a little passage like in like densely wooded area that people could make their way through. But it's not forgiving areas too. Like it's sort of got to be hard to do that shit also. But I don't know, man. It's just I hope that I hope Australia fucking recovers from this shit too, because those like I know we're hearing our media telling us that they're locked down the way that they're locked down. But I hope they get to go back to normal too. It seems like most places have. I know up by you in New York, like I know
it's
that
pretty normal.
They're supposed to be even with the athletes. They're not going to be requiring a vaccine passport to play in venues. I mean, right now it's still I think it still holds up. So there was issues with the Yankees and the Mets having certain players who weren't vaxxed yet wouldn't be able to play home games. But I think Adams says that that'll work itself out by April when they start playing regular season games. So, oh man, I mean they let fighters fight there, and I'm pretty sure like
my job now requires everyone to have the vaccine and the booster.
And the booster too,
and
huh?
The booster.
Even if you got COVID, because
yes.
I got the natural booster.
Yes,
I didn't get the booster. I got the natural
booster. They fired a few guys I work with because of it.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's not.
And you know what? What's going to suck is that none of that's going to matter. Like those guys who got fired 8 months from now, that's not going to matter, and they're going to be like, "What the fuck?" You know what I mean?
Well, they could.
What the fuck?
The union didn't fire them. It was the
company.
Yeah,
it was
NBC.
The company, yeah.
NBC.
Yeah, the company. Yeah. But none of that's gonna matter. Like it's all that shit's gonna fucking fade away within the next year. Nobody's gonna require any of that shit. It's already no masks in most places.
I can't wait for the planes to not require masks because that's just stupid.
That's soon, dude. That's soon. I think they're ready to talk about that shit too. You know what? I'll tell you what though. Flying with the mask shit. Now I worked in construction for 2 decades. So I worked around a lot of dust and stuff. So it's been normal for me to have an N95 on for up to 8 to 10 hours a day. Just strapped. I'd have like the fucking band marks on my face for years. So getting on a plane and flying up to New York City or flying back down here to South Florida, like didn't really bother me being on the plane for 2 or 3 hours with the mask on. But it definitely helped with just like I said, like all the ugly motherfuckers. Like I'd rather not look at this person's face or get their halitosis. You know what I mean? Like when you sit next to a stranger on a fucking plane.
Yes. Here's the thing. Flying is already stressful.
No.
Now you're gonna add to the stress by forcing me to wear a mask, and I'm on the plane. It's hot air, and I'm just like breathing hot air into the mask and. Just not comfortable, but
it's a shitty situation.
I'm usually sitting next to my family, so I don't care about the bad breath. But if I'm around strangers by myself, I'd probably be more comfortable, like dealing with that and not smelling other people. That's one of the things I do enjoy about masks is I don't have to smell your dirty ass.
Well, at work, I would have like my ear pods in, and I'd be fucking jamming out or listening to somebody else's podcast or something like that. And, and I'd have the mask on at work, and it would just help just to be antisocial. Because, like there's occasions, like, really, honestly, like, outside of work, I want to talk to everybody, and I want to interact with everybody, and I want to talk and have conversations and stuff. But at work, I try to pull myself away from small talk just so I could be more productive. But it definitely helped having this on, and then this. It's like, I'm like Helen Keller. I'm like,
speaking of that, that's hilarious.
I'm like, and then they're just like, after they can't communicate for like 5 seconds, they just give up and walk away. And I've gotten a lot of work done in the last 2 years.
I think I'm being robbed. Hold on. You need $20.
$20, daddy. Come on, give a little extra, a little bit more. Come on, a little more. There you go. Come on, a little bit more. Get yourself something nice.
I gave her a $100 bill.
Woo!
Make sure it's real. I'm not sure.
You gotta mark it. We gotta run the marker across it.
Damn, I was saying something. You totally threw me off.
Sorry, here.
What's that?
I'll trade you. It's what Lena has playground.
Charger?
It's a.
What the fuck is that?
Zip cord with add a tap and add a. Well, this is an add a end and add a tap.
Oh, okay.
You have no idea what that is. Yes, it's like custom, not custom built, but like you build it yourself.
Oh, so it's a hack job.
It's not a hack, but
no, I know.
It's fucking.
Yeah. Yeah. You can put it together yourself. I got it. Yeah.
It's basically when you're on. I work in the film industry. If anyone doesn't know that, and when you have to run power to every light inside of a house, including lamps, but they don't want you to see it. So you have to use this small ass shit, and you have to hide it in cracked crevices on the baseboards and whatnot. So you measure it out, you cut it, you add it together, so you have the right length.
It's just so you don't see big, bulky, like extension cords just
Exactly,
sticking out from underneath the
exactly.
rug or behind furniture.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's an eyesore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always, when I watch shows sometimes now, I'm looking around to see, like, where is some, there's got to be something you can see.
I do that with boom mics. Like, 'cause sometimes you see the shadow of the boom mic, or you'll see like mirror shit. Like for example, there's a famous shot in Pretty Woman where she's doing like that, like she's trying on dresses and shit, and there's a mirror swing, right?
Yeah.
Now the effect that they were trying to go for was the mirror spins and then she's in a different dress. So when the mirror spins, you see the fucking camera guy.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Of course. I mean,
And it's blatant, and they didn't even take it out and edit, and they just assumed that no one was going to catch it because the mirror was spinning fast enough. But as soon as, and this is pre-internet, as soon as people caught it, everybody's like scavenger hunt was to find the movie camera in Pretty Woman, and I remember that was yeah, and it's a whole bunch of films like
if you watch The Crow,
boom stand like just go like this.
The movie The Crow, because he's wearing the shiny leather suit, you can see where every light is pointed at him.
Oh yeah, and that's not only that. In that movie Barbed Wire too, you see it on Pam Anderson's tits.
Oh, and
you see there's a light here and a light there.
Always look at someone's glasses. If they're wearing shiny sunglasses, you could usually see the light somewhere.
Yeah, like reflective aviators and shit like that too. You catch that shit. I do that with people with selfies when they do those reflective sunglasses. I'm like, where's your phone? Where's your phone? Where's your phone? It always gives away that, oh, I'm just naturally looking away. It's like, no, you're not, because I can see that you're fucking planting your selfie fucking stick, 3 feet away from your face. Yeah, man. I'll tell you what, though, for like internet broadcasters and podcasters, COVID definitely benefited them because a lot of attention shifted to just like, the internet bringing you your entertainment. I mean, aside from streaming services and stuff like that, but even shit like this, YouTube.
And even after COVID, now that people are back to work, every time Joe Rogan's name is on the news, they're not just helping Joe Rogan, they're helping everyone else who's a podcaster. Because once you watch Joe Rogan, you end up seeing
trickle down effect.
Yeah.
Then Giannis Pappas was on Joe Rogan twice this year. His numbers jump up. Then everybody else who's on what's that? Bert Kreischer, Ari Shaffir, all those guys, Whitney Cummings, everybody's numbers jump up. But that's not all. Like also, even along with that, you get a lot of attention goes to Crystal and Sagar. You know what I mean? Even still, like you get like even somebody like Ben Shapiro, Oliver Stone.
History of the United States.
Some 24-year-old kid is like, who's Oliver Stone? And then they go and they watch fucking, like all the movies he did, like Born on the 4th of July.
The Untold History of the United States.
Yeah.
It's on Amazon.
Yeah.
It's on Prime. It's not free, unfortunately, but it's worth it.
Well, he also did JFK because he's a big JFK conspiracy theorist.
Well, he's working on that documentary too.
Another, a series, I think, right? Yeah. I can't wait for that shit. That was like my introduction into conspiracy theories, right? Was
movie,
aliens,
right?
And JFK. That movie, JFK.
Yeah, I was just saying the movie. Me too. That was me too. That was my first.
I was like, I didn't know. I knew he got shot, but I had no idea.
And I knew he was the president was shot. I just didn't. I wasn't alive at the time, obviously, but I knew it. I heard stories of it. Then you watch the movie and you're like, is this true? And you ask your parents, they go, probably, because it was one of those things where it probably was true. A lot of people said that's probably fucking true.
Yeah, and that whole thing wasn't like a televised. They didn't talk about like the magic bullet or multiple shooters. Nobody ever said that. It was like immediately, Oswald was the single shooter. And, he even said, like, I'm a patsy before he got shot, and he got shot by a mobster who was fucking, like a known Casey mobster who was like...
What was his name? Jack something, right?
Yeah, he died in prison, that guy, right?
No, I'm trying to say who shot B. Harvey.
Jack Ruby. Jack Ruby, yeah. And that movie was like introduction to conspiracy theories. Like it was like And it was like that. Aliens was more fun because aliens were already in pop culture in like horror movies and sci-fi, Star Wars.
Well, I
So
used to
aliens,
watch
but the
that
thing is,
sci-fi
aliens
show
existed.
Sightings. Remember that sci-fi show Sightings?
Yes,
That was good.
yes,
As
yeah.
much how no matter how crazy those people were, the stories are great. Not all
It
of
was
them were crazy,
scary
but
too.
some of
It
them were
used to
fucking
scare
crazy.
me. Abduction stories used to scare me as a kid, and I loved X Files. I used to watch X
Oh,
Files,
X-Files was a great show.
dude.
Great
That
show,
was
man.
Yeah, that was like bottle fed me conspiracy theories,
Yeah.
like because it had so much shit that was like unexplained, and it's like it got me addicted to stuff like that. But not only that, but the JFK thing really said that my government could not be telling me everything. And then I remember vaguely being a kid and people complaining that Vietnam was like a fucking was a bad thing, and why it was bad I didn't get until I was like in high school, and you ended up learning it in history class. Because it was something that they were teaching new. Like they didn't really teach Vietnam in the 80s, but in the 90s they did. Like they were like telling you, yeah,
I
this
didn't.
happened.
I don't know if I learned about it or not because I barely went to school. Stay in schools, kids. Stay in school. But
Message.
but yeah, I've learned about it afterwards, and that's one thing. People should always do that. Just keep reading and watching things, everything.
Another good thing
Even
to
if
come
it's
out of
something
COVID. Another good thing, reading and
you
watching
had
things
time
and
to do
learning
that.
things. Yeah,
But
you had
do
time
things
to
even if
learn
you
some
don't
new
agree
shit.
with it. Watch it just to see. You never know. It
Yeah,
might
or
change your
just to
mind or
find
might
out.
not.
Yeah, watch it. Watch what would be your devil's advocate, just to be like, what the fuck is the other side saying? And even though a lot of people just get infuriated by it, it's just like I want to hear what the opposite of my opinion is, just so I can have a contrast to think that okay, this is why they think this way. You know what I mean? And I want to understand why. I don't want to believe maybe necessarily, or maybe I might. Maybe I might change my opinion on something.
You
But
never
I want
know.
to hear
The thing
like
is, you
what
never
the
know.
other side says. That's why I used to like, even though I know all media is bullshit, but I still for years, and this is going back like probably even up until maybe 15 years ago, when Bush was still president, right? It was the end of his like run, and I would watch Fox News and CNN, and I would it was two channels apart on my old cable box, so I'd go bink 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 bink, and I'd be like, what are they saying? And watch the talking heads on opposite sides praise Bush and shit on him at the same time, and they did it with Obama, and the ball was in the other side of the court. You know what I mean? And it would be praise Obama on CNN and then shit on him on Fox News. And I watched the whole fiasco happen, and it continued on with Trump and now with Biden and shit. It's still going. It's like an American tradition now. But I would just do that just to see different sides. During COVID, I would go into, like go down the rabbit hole and deep dive on something that I'm like, flat Earth. Let me see what these flat
I
Earth
was
people
just
have
gonna.
to
Wow,
say.
you took the words right out of my mouth. Once you said dive on the other side, I was gonna say I've said this many times on this show. I said it many times on other shows. I've watched every flat Earth conspiracy theory on YouTube. Every one of them.
Yeah.
Probably over 15 hours. And I'm
Yeah.
still not convinced. I watched
It's
one
yeah.
9/11 documentary and I'm convinced.
Oh.
So let's just say that.
The second somebody made me scratch my head in probably 2003, right? Because, like I was, technically I was an adult when 9/11 happened, right? But I was young.
Not,
I was
but
like,
I was close to
it was
it.
before my 20th birthday. I was 19, I think, when it happened. And no, I might have been 20. I turned 20 that year. I was 20. But by 2003, somebody, there was no YouTube back then. But there were conspiracy theory sites, and you heard like Inside Job, 9/11. But then when somebody told me what happened, 'cause I didn't know, living in New York City, even at the time, I didn't know Building 7 collapsed the way that it did. I didn't get to see video until 2003 of Building 7 collapsing. And then somebody said there were charges, this, that, and then it opened up the door. Now, I'm still skeptical on everything, right? I still dissect everything, but I hear it all. And I remember, and I was like, that's fucking fishy. That is some fishy shit. And what was in Building 7, and all that shit, what was, and I was like, yo, that is fucking weird. And then I remember in 2003, that was when my awakening with like 9/11 conspiracies and stuff like this. I've gone through the whole gamut of them. Even into aliens were involved. Like I've read up on that shit. You know what I mean? All the not believable shit I've read also.
Loose Change is the best one. Loose Change is the best documentary for that.
Yeah.
And then the other one is called Everything from 9/11 to JFK, or Everything is a Rich Man's Scheme. It's something like that.
Yeah, but I even watched like Fahrenheit 9/11 too, like just because you know, it wasn't like an inside jobber, but it definitely said that, okay, like Pearl Harbor, that maybe the government knew it was going to happen and didn't stop it. And I was like, that's plausible. You know what I mean? Because of Pearl Harbor, because of like what you mentioned.
That's more what I believe. I don't believe the whole planes didn't hit it at all. That was a hologram. There's some crazy theory that it was a hologram.
Yeah, a lot of them, dude. I know special effects and shit that they said. I was like, no, how are you gonna tell me 10,000 people on the ground? You know what I mean? Not the 3,000 that died in the building. The 10,000 on the ground looking up all saw like a fucking special effects show. Like, so, come on, dude.
Yes, exactly.
I've been to Disney. I watched the Indiana Jones stunt show, and you can't do that shit on that scale.
The government knew something was being planned, and was like, let it happen. We'll make money. And guess what happened? Yeah. It happened, and they made a lot of money.
They got that Earl.
TSA. People don't know this. TSA was created because of 9/11.
Yeah.
To this day, TSA hasn't stopped a real terrorist attack. Actually, that's not true. No, the shoe bomber got on the plane.
Oh, that was on the plane. That's right. That was Marshall. That was Air Marshal guy. Right? He was about to blow his nuts up, right? He had the diaper with the bomb on it. And who was the guy with the shoe? There was a shoe and a lighter. There was a shoe and a lighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what about the other guy who had the diaper bomb?
I don't know about the diaper. I don't know about that.
But
that's genius. But
he was about to light his ass on fire. He was about to blow his balls off.
All the machines we use, all those X-ray machines and whatnot, are all made by a company that is invested in Bush, or Bush is invested in.
Yeah, of course.
Lockheed
Everybody had
and all that stuff.
Yeah, Blackwater and fucking Halliburton and, you know, all that jargon, contractors and shit. You know, like listen, you know, like that was like you know, something like that was like that our fucking fucked up thing. Like I know, like I look at like I have a nephew, he's gonna be 21, and like COVID and this is like his 9/11. You know what I mean? Because it's like the fucking devastating thing that happened in his generation when he was a young adult. That I remember 9/11 when I was 20, being like, holy shit, world is different now. Because there was a different world before then. Like the world was different, you know. Different. Yeah, you were able to get away with a lot of shit in the 90s.
I mean, not even that. Forget about the government crackdown. People also were more friendly with each other. Americans were more friendly because
neighborly too.
It wasn't that like COVID's like everyone's kind of in it for themselves. Like we gotta protect our family from this virus.
Everybody became introverted. Like all at the same time. Not everybody, but a grand majority of the population.
9/11, we were like, they attacked us.
And then we all hugged each other.
All of us.
Yeah.
All of us lost people in that building. Yeah. And in that building, it didn't matter the color of your skin. It took you.
It took you, yeah. Yeah, man. That was an indiscriminate act that, you know, a lot of people suffered from, like collectively. And the thing is, we all became more of a community after that. I remember, and a lot of people, it's sort of redundant to even say it, but you know, you got to say it because we experienced it because we were living there. Because I've heard too many people, like they talk about it. Oh, I remember the whole country was, and I was like, New York was so fucking unified, so fucking unified. I watched a whole city of people who weren't even Met fans cry when Mike Piazza hit that first home run that came back, that they came back to Shea Stadium. And our friend Lou was there, and he was actually at that game. You know what I mean? And he was like, one of the most emotional moments. This kid will never talk about emotional moments. He said, one of the most emotional moments of my life, and Mike Piazza hit that home run. And he wasn't the only one. The whole city became like a family for a couple of years. I feel like until like 04, 05, it was still like a lot of that. And then it sort of like diluted a little bit when the hipsters really started taking over. Like then that sort of like went away. When New York really started becoming hard left, you know, like that was when that sentiment sort of got thrown out of the, you know, which there were good things and bad things. Once the rent really started going up, that's when everybody stopped waving the American flag in New York City. But for a couple of years, man, people were patriotic.
Williamsburg was a shithole.
Yeah.
Williamsburg was a shithole. It was bad. Yeah. It was you didn't go to Williamsburg unless you wanted to buy
Greenpoint was a little
weed or crack.
Yeah. Greenpoint was sort of, you know, sketch, and like the Marcy projects where fucking Jay-Z was slinging crack back in the fucking late 80s,
they're
early
still
90s.
pretty bad.
You know, I mean, like it's not as bad as it used to be, man. New York is a different animal now. I know you guys got a huge homeless problem, but so does every big city in the country. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say everyone has
I don't know, like,
problem.
Yeah, but the homeless problem now is starting to turn into a fucking serial killer problem. You guys got serial killers now.
The
I thought
kid
Florida
walking
was
around
crazy.
shooting the sleeping homeless men. Is that what you're
Yeah,
talking about?
at least in Florida, like you know the person who's shooting you or shooting at you. You know what I mean? I mean, there's at shooters actually.
You're
No pun
sleeping.
intended.
No, he's shooting people that are sleeping on the floor.
I know. He woke up the homeless guy and shot him twice in the face, right? It's sick, dude. And there's video of this guy doing this shit. At least here in Florida, yesterday, in Fort Lauderdale, famous restaurant, no pun intended, shooters. There was a former employee who came onto the job site and shot his former coworker and killed him. And the name of the place is Shooters. I'm going to mention that again. At least you know the person who's going to kill you in Florida. When you're in fucking New York now, you could just be fucking, you could be passed out drunk on the subway and somebody's going to fucking shoot you. That's scary, man. But they caught that trans psycho, right? That was been killing homeless people for a minute, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Did you just say that?
Like, I think they're elderly
psycho?
too, right? Yeah, they're elderly though,
They
right?
were,
They're like 70-year-old
70
trans
old.
woman.
Yeah.
That has been killing people for a while. I heard, via another podcast that like this person was a known homeless killer that the cops just didn't do anything about. And it's like now it's just been like so like for years, like maybe more than 2 decades. And this person's been to prison, for crazy shit, violent crime and stuff like that. And it's just now they probably went ham and killed a few people, I think, right?
It was. Did they found body parts like spread out?
Chopped up.
They?
Yeah, chopped up. And I
don't
think
know
they
how
were
many
caught
people,
disposing.
but,
Well, didn't they find them with like a body part, like a torso and a leg?
They went
shit?
shopping with
Did
a
a
leg in
leg
their
fall out of a
hand.
shopping cart? What?
She went shopping with a leg in her purse or something, like sticking out, or in her hand or something. Hold on. I think she did something crazy like that.
I don't mean to laugh. I mean, psychos are psychos.
We're
That is
Hollywood
fucking
fans.
crazy, dude.
That's yeah.
It's like I got my purse and there's just like there's just like a hand hanging out, like Mike. Like I got my purse and there's just like a fucking hand flopping out of the back, and he's just like, "Oh, pardon me, excuse me. What's that fucking smell?" You're like, "Oh, it's just a dead cat."
Where is she? I can't find this article now.
I'm happy St. Patty's Day's coming back because that was that when COVID shutdown happened.
She's 83, by the way.
83, not even 70. Wow, even older. She's still killing people at 83 years old. Somebody's got to be helping her. She can't be doing that by herself. You ain't chopping bodies up by yourself at 83 years old. Come on. No? What do you think, Mike? 83-year-old cutting up bodies? Come on.
If she has a sawzall, she can do it.
Yeah,
she has a sawzall.
dude.
Anyone
right.
can do it. Anyone can do it.
Yeah, she's definitely got a Milwaukee Sawzall. Mm-hmm. OG too. She's 83 years old. She probably got the one from like the 80s at the big fucking
She's
the
previously
spinning motor that
convicted
you
of
see.
2 other killings in 63 and 84.
Yeah, I told you she's been doing this for a minute, dude. Like she's a known killer. She's a known killer. She's been killing people for a minute. That's crazy. That's like some Silence of the Lambs shit.
Why is she still on the streets?
I don't know, man.
That do your time, do crime nonsense, or is it when you do the crime, you do your time? It doesn't work.
Yeah.
The time doesn't work.
Well, this person's obviously psycho, and they definitely, probably used mental health rehabilitation to not get a big sentence. And the people that they killed probably, they didn't give a shit about, because like I said, they've been killing homeless people. You know what I mean? You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, it's not Gabby Petito. You understand what I'm saying? It's not like they're fucking looking for the blonde white girl.
Like serial killers usually kill hookers, and no one fucking goes looking for hookers.
Except if you're Ted Bundy and you're fucking killing, actual, students and shit, like people who aren't, like fringe.
Though. Didn't a guy get away and got to the cops? And Ted Bundy.
No, one of the girls got away. Wait, Ted Bundy?
Not Ted Bundy. Who am I thinking of then?
Oh, Jeffrey Dahmer.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
But then there was the guy that the fucking teenager that they put back into his apartment.
That's what I'm saying. The guy got away and got to the cops.
He was
And
this
he
close.
said, oh, it's just a lover's quarrel. I'll take him
Yeah,
back.
and he was
Because
like
he was
on
on drugs.
Quaaludes.
He was on drugs.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was like, yeah. Yeah, so they were like, oh, we don't want to mess with the gay couple, and then they just pushed him back into the apartment, and then he fucking cut him up that night.
Was perfect because that's exactly what it was. That's exactly what it was.
That's fucking crazy, dude. Psychos are psych. You know, this is, speaking about psychos, a bad thing to come out of fucking COVID. There's probably a lot more. Speaking about like this, also psycho trans woman who's killing these homeless people, and that other homeless serial killer, that other guy that they caught. They caught him, right?
I don't know.
They caught the guy.
I don't know.
I think
I
so. I was
that.
watching
I
something.
So.
I was watching something on the local news down here that they had surveillance camera footage, and they knew where he was, or maybe they caught him. Either way, the psychos are coming out of the woodworks now.
Arrested.
Now that everything's open, he got arrested. Yeah.
In Washington.
The psychos are
That's
coming
not
out
New
of the
York,
woodwork.
is it? Oh, it's D.C. and New York. He was doing it.
He took the train down to D.C. and they caught him. He took the train down to D.C., I think, and caught him by the train station. You know that 3 or 5 hour ride or whatever the fuck it is? The speed train, Amtrak. So, I mean, the psychos are going to come out of the woodworks. That's pretty much moral of the story. And that's because they're interacting with everybody again, and they're like, fucking people. You know, so it's going to suck for people who don't have concealed carry in their state. So that's all I'm going to say. You got the knife guy, the guy in MoMA. You saw that guy in MoMA stabbed the fucking girls behind the desk. You saw that shit? The psycho? Hey, listen, I know I'm down in New York at least 4 times a year now. And I know I'm down there a lot. I mean, up there a lot. I'm down here now, but I'm up there a lot. But the thing is, I still keep my tabs on the local news and what's going on. That guy said they caught that guy in like Pennsylvania or some shit, or Philadelphia or some crap. So there's psychos out there. If you had an armed guard in that he would have been. If that were me standing there and I see this guy stabbing, I would have shot that guy right in the face.
And unfortunately, in this state, if you do that, you're in trouble.
You're in trouble.
You're in more trouble than he would have been for stabbing her.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
2 or 3. I think there were 3 women behind that desk that he assaulted.
In the news today, there was already 4 stabbings. One immigration lawyer got stabbed in the neck. He ended up dying in the hospital. Someone else got stabbed. Then a cop got stabbed.
Damn.
It's crazy. I mean,
stabbings, man. Everybody's getting stabbed.
And then the Asian woman got beat up. Well, she's in a coma, I think.
Oh, the big dude.
He punched her 157 times.
I know, and she might have weighed like 100 pounds soaking wet. That guy was 300 plus, and he was a big guy, man.
It's
wailing
insane.
on her, dude. Yeah, dude. Fuck, man. I mean, it's wild down here in Florida, too, dude. Everybody's going fuck wild everywhere. Like, literally, no one's immune to it. Doesn't matter where you are. Seattle, LA, don't matter. Is that a balloon?
Yeah.
There's no helium in that?
No, but there might be in this one, but I think it's, like, no longer good.
Wow! Yo. You look like Upside Down Minnie Mouse for a second. Wait, isn't that an intellectual property? Are we allowed to show that?
Yeah.
Are we allowed to show Disney characters?
Maybe, I don't know. But then how could we show Fauci? He's definitely a Disney character.
Oh, man. Yeah, he is a character. Oh, I heard a rumor that Donald Trump, he did the Nelk Boys fucking podcast. I think he might be doing the Joe Rogan Experience next.
I heard that too.
That should be fucking interesting. I'd like to see how wild that gets.
Listen.
That should be funny, dude. I think it should be funny.
I think it's going to be one of his biggest podcasts yet, to be honest.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, of course.
Like, not only is it an ex-president of the United States, because it would be just as big if he had Obama on.
Of course, yeah.
Not only is it that, but it's also the host of The Apprentice.
And the host of Fear Factor. They were both hosts on NBC shows. At the same time, wasn't Fear Factor on when The Apprentice was on?
Yes. Love you. I love you.
Aww.
What?
You're watching Romance Live, guys.
Don't get married, guys. I'm
Nah,
kidding.
don't
Don't
listen
do
to
anything. You want to throw scissors at me or something? I love you. Get married. Have fun.
You see how quickly that turned?
Oh my God! What
You
is
guys
that?
were all lovey-dovey, and she was about to
She threw a
assault you with scissors.
Cheerio at me. I don't know where she found the Cheerio, but she threw a Cheerio at me.
My daughter found it. We haven't had Cheerios in the house in months.
Those things will survive a nuclear apocalypse, which we might end up having pretty soon if fucking Putin gets a little froggy.
Listen, the first.
Damn, it got bright, bro. And I thought I had the studio light on me too bright.
Speaking of nuclear war, apparently people are buying up all the iodine pills on Amazon.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah,
I
they're
think I
going
said
like
that
the
last
vitamin
time.
D pills. Yeah,
Well,
yeah, you mentioned that
too.
last
Well,
podcast.
iodine,
Yeah.
because iodine helps flush radiation out of your body, supposedly. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, well, that's low levels. That's if you're, you know what I mean? That's for people who work in like laboratories and stuff like that might be exposed to low levels of, you know, and they tell people who, you know, work with like CAT scan and MRI machines to take that every once in a while. But that would help you if you like had for some reason had to be close to a very radioactive site. But let's be honest, if a fucking bomb drops, like everywhere within 11-mile radius is going to be fucking leveled. You know, and yeah, man. I mean, I just hope he doesn't get so desperate because we didn't send fucking MiGs to the Ukraine, but we sent a lot of guns, a lot of javelins, a lot of rockets, a lot of fucking drones to the Ukrainian forces.
Did we?
And
actually
body
send
armor,
drones?
ammunition.
We sent drones?
We sent drones, yeah. We sent tactical unmanned vehicles, which means aerial drones and ground drones.
But I don't think people realize that means we are already at war.
Yeah.
We're already in the history of the United States.
That's sort of true.
We've always picked a side and gave them weapons. Whether it be, what was it? We started supplying the English during World War II. And
yeah,
they blew
but we
up
also
our
did
boat.
that in World War One, didn't we?
Yes.
Like lend them troops at first.
Yes.
We weren't at war, but we gave them.
We did
Yeah.
it in Afghanistan, but then we had to do boots on the ground. We did it twice in Afghanistan because we did it once to fight off the Russians, and then they turned on us.
Yeah, we gave the Mujahideen fucking funding.
Yeah.
And Osama bin Laden was running that show, and then we turned our we turned our attention away from them once the Soviet Union started collapsing, and then they got pissed off, and then we're like, you're just using us for the oil, us, you know, Middle Easterners, and we're like, yeah, so what? We're gonna go to war with Iraq, and then we went to war with Iraq.
I think it was more like when they said you're just using us for the oil. They just laughed. Ha 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 ha.
Like when they put their hands on their hips and went, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Ha.
Yeah, like no shit. Go away,
That's
you
the
little
oil,
peasants.
The oil left. Well, listen, a whole bunch of Saudis are fucking the richest people in the world right now, and you don't even know how much money they have, and it goes, you know, like they say.
I say that to people
you know,
all the time.
Yeah, none
They
of their
always
money's
worry about
counted.
Jeff Bezos. They worry about Elon Musk, and I'm like, you do realize these guys have pennies to the real billionaires.
You can't count their money.
Or
You can't count their
trillionaires.
money. Or maybe they are equally billionaires. Like maybe they do have the same amount of money that Elon Musk has, but you don't know that.
Elon
You don't
Musk
know
has
it.
that money because he has assets that are worth that.
Yeah.
The Saudi princes have that in gold, or have that in
In
oil.
one commodity, or in
Mhm.
gold, right? But in one commodity, and right now it's the bee's knees, man. It's pretty fucking expensive. One thing that was great during COVID, the low ass gas prices, and now
paid
everyone's realizing that.
$4.79 a gallon today.
Yeah, it's $4.29 by me.
I
Right
paid
now.
$4.79 for regular. For regular.
There's
bullshit.
$5 gas. There's $5 gas near Miami and near Fort Lauderdale.
Premium
but,
was
like,
$5.07.
And in Boca too. Boca, but by where the richer people are, that's where the more expensive gas is, and they don't give a shit. It's not really affecting them, you know. I saw them fueling up a yacht, dude. I'm working
Your
on a
bill will be
job right now.
$15,000. Why put it on my Black American Express? Thank you. See
Yo,
you in a
and the
week,
boat, Dude, there's the name of a boat. I don't know if I could say this. I'm gonna say it anyway. They're probably not gonna ever watch this. But the name of the boat is Cope. So you know, Cope. Yeah. So you know it's like, yeah, dude, it's real cocky. And I'm like, wow, talk about like flaunting like, you know, corrupt medicine, you know, at its finest, you know. But it's whatever, man. Hey, man, I can't hate on the game. The guy probably lives a life that I would love to live.
You hate him until you're one of them, and you're like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Not that I will ever be one of them. I think this is basically
You know that guy.
for us.
You know that guy gets access to the real good drugs. Like he gets the best drugs. Yeah.
Yes,
for sure,
the best.
Yeah. But you know what? Like it's yeah, they definitely, you know, it doesn't really affect them as much. So like, but you know, whatever, it hit me in the pocket a little bit. I was like, damn, fucking $100 to fill the tank in my SUV. I was, get the fuck out of here, dude. I was like, wow. I was like, I never had to pay $100 for a tank of gas.
Yeah. The second I have a new car, as you know, and I'm filling it up, and I'm thinking, why didn't I get a hybrid or electric car? This sucks.
Well, I have a Civic that does pretty good on gas, and that really, I'm paying like an extra, really is like $12 a tank. You know what I mean? But the fucking SUV, because it's like, once you go up that many gallons in the tank, like it's almost a 20-gallon tank.
Yeah,
it's like 18
it's
plus.
My shit,
at $5 a gallon.
17.4 or something. Yeah, and that shit goes to like $70 when you're filling it up, and you're like
75. I think I paid like a couple days ago. Yeah, it's crazy, man.
It's a lot of money.
You know, them prices, them gas prices. Talk about fucking boring conversation. I mean, the thing is, it's funny though, because everybody at the same time, it's like, what unifies the country more than fucking gas prices? Because now you get liberals and conservatives are all fucking pissed off about the same thing. Finally, something they can all be mad about the same way.
It's hilarious. Like one person is blaming Russia. Like,
yes. And then this guy's blaming Biden, and then this guy's blaming Trump, and I'm like, he's not the president anymore. And it's like, don't you remember when he was president, the gas was $1.69 a gallon? But that had nothing to do with him. The gas has nothing to do. Listen, there was an awesome meme my wife showed me yesterday, and it went down the list of all the reasons why prices fluctuate in the oil industry, right? And none of them are the president of the United States of America. It's all the market dictates. In general sense, the market dictates. It's the price per barrel, how much it costs to refine it, how much it costs to distribute it around the world in tankers, because you got to pay to ship it, how much it costs to refine it once it gets there, if it comes as crude oil, how much the price of crude oil is, what the oil companies, yes, they do business, and they get lobbyists and shit like that have corruption intertwined in world governments. That's true. But Biden wasn't going to stop that from happening anyway. No matter who the president was, the gas was going to go $5 a gallon anyway, no matter what. And I understand, like, our dependence on Russia is dictating whether, like, you know, if this country gets desperate enough, they don't give a fuck about that pipeline situation anymore. They're opening that shit up going through fucking the Dakotas. They don't give a shit. It's going to happen either way. Or we're going to get our fucking oil from Venezuela, or we're going to get it from whoever the fuck we're going to get it from. And I know, like, morally speaking, we don't want to get our oil from all these other countries. But the thing is, it's going to happen regardless of what you say. This is their business. You know what I mean? And it sucks. And we're all going to fucking suffer together. But you can't just put the blame on this guy or that guy.
We have plenty of oil here being refined. And the problem is we sell it for money. Mm-hmm. That's part of how our, budget works.
We need to be selfish. I mean, Americans are selfish just in the general sense. I'm a selfish guy too.
You have to realize this.
But we need to be selfish with our oil.
If we don't sell it for money, how do we pay our loans that we have to these same countries and these deals we have?
Yo, what happens if we default?
That's a good question.
Do we just get a shit credit score?
Do we get nuked?
We get nuked? We don't just get... Is that our bad credit score? Is that our bad credit score? Is that our 450
Do you really want China
score?
knocking on your door going, hey, where's our $45 trillion?
I don't know, man. The way that I'm seeing how China's dealing with this Ukraine situation, they're just waiting. So China is, no matter what happens, if whatever shit relationship if we ever have, hopefully, and I'm pulling for us to have a better relationship. Yes. With the world in general.
Get so much more done.
I want peace with the world. That's what I want.
If every country was getting together, working together, we'd probably have a cure for almost everything by now.
Of course, right? But the thing is, we know we don't live in a utopian society like that at the moment, and we're probably far off from that happening, especially with the state of the world right now. But China right now is being patient, and they're not going to be froggy if we ever soured our relationship with them in any sort of bad way. I don't think it would turn into a nuclear conflict right away. I think our tension with Russia is way more inflamed, and it always has been. It's just that we've had it suppressed for 2 decades, but now it's like back to fucking 1980s flare up. We're going to need Superman to fucking come and like fight some really bad fake Superman character and throw nuclear warheads out to the moon like he did in 1984. You know what I mean? Or 85 or whenever Superman 4 came out.
I prefer Dr. Manhattan over Superman. Just saying.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's epic, though. I was talking about a shitty movie, but Dr. Manhattan is one of the greatest comic book characters ever created, dude. Just like his story and how he's just complete, like, ever-transcending energy. And he's got a big, giant blue dick. Like, it's just fucking awesome, dude. So everything is awesome about that shit. Well, The Watchmen, everything's awesome about The Watchmen. It's a great fucking... great graphic novel, dude. Yeah, that's graphic novel. You know what I mean? Like Sin City graphic novel. Like even some Batman's, like like Death in the Family, The Dark Knight, all the Frank Miller. Those are graphic novels. Frank Miller Batman, Frank Miller Daredevil is a graphic novel. Even though you read it in those issues, I just would buy them in the cluster. I would just get the fucking bundle and read the 10 issues in a row. It was better that way. It just flowed better, and sometimes the panels were different.
It's just like binge watching a show. When you binge watch a show, you don't
that's OG binge watching, dude.
Yep.
Yeah, you just read the whole series of comic books in one shot. And that's why like I'm watching these movies nowadays that are coming out, and I'm like, everybody's like critiquing it. I'm like, you don't understand the amount of shit that they got to stuff into 3 hours, dude. You're lucky you're getting 3 hours. You know what I mean? Like this is literally 18 hours worth of fucking info that they have to trap into a Hollywood movie. So, And another thing out of COVID, speaking about movies with the segue with the movies, the movie industry, as far as theaters, AMC jumping back up, you know what I mean? A lot of things coming out from the dead. Me and my wife, literally, we realized in the last 2 months, we've been to the movies 5 times. The last time I went to a movie theater 5 times in a year was probably back in the early 2000s. I would only go for the major like blockbusters or a Star Wars movie.
I don't think I've been to. I think the last time I've been to the movies might have been with you for a Star Wars premiere, bro. It's been a long time.
No, we went to the Avengers Endgame together.
Well, there you
before.
Go. That
was back in 2019.
That might be
that's crazy, dude. But we went. I think in the last year we've probably been to the movies about 12 times. But in the last 2 months, we've been 5 times. We just seen Batman last week, obviously.
What'd you think?
Got to see that shit. I liked it, dude. It's different. And the thing is, I like that all the iterations of Batman through the years are different. None of them are the same as each other. And they're all different telling. And I like the noir aspect. I like that it's like Seven. It looks like Seven. Like the feel of the movie is like Seven. It's a more violent movie, but not like action violence. It's all the same kind of Batman action. He is a good actor. Robert. They were all great.
I didn't like him as an actor. I did not like him as an actor in general at first.
Yeah.
And then I watched him in the movie Tenet. He's in Tenet, which is a Christopher Nolan movie, and I was like, "Whoa, shit, he can act." And then I figured he'll be a good Batman from seeing that movie.
Nolan does good work with people though. Like he took Christopher Nolan obviously made Christian Bale a great Batman and Heath Ledger a great Joker, and he also like Memento and fucking. You know what I mean? Even like Inception, like when you watch just the cinematography stuff like that, like the way that he makes those wide shots, you know what I mean? And and with the ominous music, I know it's not him doing the music, but it's just the way that he knows it's going to sound once it's all tied in is going to be like pound on your chest. You know what I mean? Like when he does that pull out shot and Batman is like gliding down in the Dark Knight. Is that the one with Willem Dafoe? Him and Willem Dafoe? No, what's the one with the lighthouse? With the lighthouse, with Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe.
That
lighthouse. I've seen parts of, but I sort of
Lighthouse.
Slept
it's called
through
The Lighthouse.
most of it. I should not eat an edible and watch that movie again.
You shouldn't eat an edible and watch any movie like that because you're gonna.
I should probably have a cup of coffee and watch that. Yeah, I passed out. So like, I should probably just drink a cup of coffee and watch that movie again.
It's a Christopher Nolan movie. Tenet. Tenet. Good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Very good movie.
I haven't seen that one.
Yes. It's
I
an
definitely put it on the
interesting
watch list.
time travel movie.
But this is the thing, like with Robert Pattinson and how I see actors. Like I also didn't like Leonardo DiCaprio for a great number of years because of Titanic, you know. And then I seen him in what movie was it? It wasn't Blood Diamond. It was like before that.
The Departed.
Before The Departed, it was Gangs of New York. I saw him in, but it was something else he did that I was like, you know what? He's actually pretty good.
I mean, he was
Maybe it
awesome
was
in Gangs of New York. Gangs of New York.
I think it might have been Gangs of New York, and you know like the whole.
I have the same exact. I've seen him in What's Eating Gilbert Grape, and I was like,
Yes.
okay. I didn't know he was not mentally disabled. I thought it was a mentally.
He was good.
Yeah,
he was fucking good.
So then,
I know.
Then I was like, whatever. Whatever, it is what it is. Good acting, I guess. I didn't know he was not mentally disabled. Then I watched Basketball Diaries.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
That's a good movie. That's a good movie. But I hated him in that because girls in my high school
That's what I was just going to say. That's what I was just going to say. I watched Basketball Diaries, and initially I liked the movie. But then when I realized everyone loved this dude and how they loved him, and I'm like, fuck this guy.
Like,
and I'm like,
that's not,
yeah, exactly. I'm like, fuck this guy, piece of shit. He's not a good actor. He's got nothing.
Yeah.
But
I
then,
was just a jealous teenage boy, I think, is all it
exactly,
boils down to.
100%.
Yeah.
But then years later, I watched Gangs of New York, and I was like, this movie's
this
fucking
guy's
gangster.
Good. Yeah,
this is good.
This guy's good.
And then the Departed, he was awesome in The Departed. He's awesome.
Yeah. Blood Diamond. He played the South African guy.
What is that? Django.
Yeah, the Django one.
He was awesome in Django, and
he was good in.
Did you hear that story, by the way?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, he was great in. Also, like he's a great actor.
When he had to read the lines, he had to keep. He would read the lines, and he would turn to like Samuel L. Jackson or what's his face, and be like, "I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry," because he was using the N-word left and right.
Yeah.
And they would be like, "Dude, just stop saying sorry. We get it."
We get it. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But he redeemed himself. Like once I got past that teenage fucking jealousy, and I grew up. Like I'm like he became that. Then now he's like my favorite actor.
Yeah,
like if you see Leo, I've literally put on Wolf of Wall Street because I'm like I got to see this guy. You know, like run his shit because he's a great fucking actor.
You know who also?
Same thing happened with Robert Pattinson with me with this Batman movie because of Twilight. Everybody's like, and because initially. As soon as everybody found out he was doing it, the haters came out and said, even I was like, you know what? Despite everybody, I'm going to go the punk rock route, and I'm going to be like, no. I said fuck that guy too, but you know what? I'm going to go and be optimistic and say he's going to do good. And then maybe he's going to prove me wrong and do a shit job as being Bruce Wayne, but he convinced me as being a noir detective. He is the detective Batman. None of the other Batmans are detectives. The reason that they call it DC Comics is because it's Detective Comics, and Batman was the detective character.
Original detective, yeah.
Him and Robin would solve crimes, and they would go after street criminals. This is what they did, and this is what he's doing here. Except it's like 7, and him and Gordon are like they're like Brad Pitt. They have a Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman chemistry, and it's fucking awesome, dude. It's awesome. And obviously, the Riddler is the psycho, and they make the Riddler like a note-writing psycho, which is perfect. Because everything's in a riddle, and it's like a serial killer, like would do that. You know what I mean? Like the BTK killer used to write notes and send it to the news, and send it to the police, and leave them on fucking wild goose chases and shit. And this is the Batman from the original comic books in the 1940s and 50s. So it's great, and his relationship with the cat, Catwoman and stuff like that, she's awesome, and Zoe Kravitz is great, and so is. Fucking Colin Farrell is the fucking Penguin, dude. You would never recognize him. If I didn't see him in the credits, you wouldn't know it was him. You would know.
Same thing with Danny DeVito when he played I didn't realize that was Danny DeVito.
He was a monster, though. They made him like a creepy monster. They made Colin Farrell like a gangster Penguin, like from the TV series. Like Burgess Meredith was like, they make him waddle. Spoiler alert. Batman ties him up, and then him and Catwoman leave him there, and he starts complaining like, hey, where are you going? And he waddles. And it's just it's the only time he waddles in the whole film, but you get the joke because he's the fucking Penguin, and that's his gangster nickname. They call him.
I
His
got
name's
you.
Oswald Cobblepot, but they call him
Yeah.
Ozzy. Yeah.
Oswald Cobblepot.
But he's a real piece of work, though. You know, like a grimy. He feels like a grimy fucking criminal type. You know, he did a good job. I liked it, and I'm sorry for all the haters out there. You can fucking get off on your hate heroin. That's all you like doing, getting high on your hate. That's what people do, bro. They get fucking high on their hate. There's so many people just getting high on their hate. They're like, oh my god, it was horrible. Oh, so horrible. It's so horrible. It's like, fuck you, dude. I can't be excited about a movie. I love Batman, and I want to be excited about Batman, and people want to ruin it for you initially. So it's like, of course, I don't like every Marvel movie. Some of them are shit. You know what I mean? Some of them I don't like, but some of them are some of the best fucking fantasy sci-fi movies that I've ever seen in my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they have their haters for that shit too. You know, like there's already people hating on Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan's coming out May 25th.
It's not even out yet. Did you like?
Not even out.
Did you like whatchamacallit, Boba Fett?
Yes, I loved it. Loved the Rancor scene in the last episode. Rancor comes and fucking hulks out and just starts destroying buildings, and I thought it was awesome. You know, always wanted to own my own Rancor. You know, who doesn't? You know, do all the heavy lifting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, why not?
You know.
But anyway, I think it's time for us to hit the dusty trail.
Yeah, so let's wrap this up, and let's just say a lot of good shit and bad shit came out of this fucking 2-year pandemia. And I feel like it's over, and it's really winding down to an end. And we might, look back at this 10 years from now, knock on wood. Actually, this is all pressed particle. But it's still wood grain. The grain is wood.
Sort of wood, yeah.
Sort of wood. Yeah, and let's just say, it's been a quite interesting 2 fucking years. Because, what are we right now? The 16th of March?
I think so.
Yeah, this is when they literally said everything was canceled. Everything was canceled. March 16th, 2020, everything was shut down. Nothing was open.
Can't believe that's 2 years ago.
2 years. Tomorrow's St. Patrick's Day, so happy St. Patty's Day to you all. Cheers, cheers, cheers. And
yes, happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patty's Day. And until next week, dipshits. I'll see you next week, Michael.
Yeah, I don't know what the next phrase would have been. Until next week, I was thinking of something. I was like, I have no idea. I'm too stoned for this.
Well, they're all dipshits too. If you're watching this, you're a fucking dipshit.
Yeah, seriously. Good night,
Next
dipshits.
Wednesday, dipshits.